The following production is brought to you by the Talkin' Buds Leaf Show.
Here we go. Talkin' Buds Leaf Show, episode 313. We have made it through the preseason. The real stuff gets going in just a couple of days. Thank God.
Yeah.
Barely
made it.
Yes. Oh
Barely
my God.
made it.
Absolute 6 preseason games. Absurd. We've ranted about it numerous times.
Yeah, whatever. Let's move on.
Don't typically like to go over a week without releasing an episode, but I wanted to wait the extra day just to see what news dropped. We got burned last Sunday. This hasn't happened to us a lot in 8 years, but we did get burned last Sunday, given our take on literally an hour after we put out the episode, the Anthony Stolarz extension was announced. So I was like, you know what? There's probably going to be some news dropping on Monday. So let's wait and do the pod on Monday. And sure enough, major news across the National Hockey League dropped about an hour ago. Not really Leaf news, but I'm choosing to make it Leaf news because my dream of Connor McDavid becoming a Toronto Maple Leaf is going to have to wait 2 more seasons as McDavid signs a 2-year extension with the Edmonton Oilers at an AAV of $12.5 million, which is a mind-blowing number for this guy to sign at. Especially when you compare it to, like, we're only a few days out from the whole Kaprizov, Minnesota situation. And to have the best player on the planet take that much of a discount at this point to help spread the wealth around and help push his team to get over that hump to finally win the Stanley Cup. It's, as Leaf fans, it stirs up a lot of emotions in us when you see a high-end player taking a deal like that one.
Well, thank him. I want to go and shake his hand and be like, thank you for setting the precedent that we need going forward. Because if the best player in the league by a mile, don't bring me any other name, it's the best player in the league by a mile, does that, then no one else has an excuse. Nobody.
Yep.
So thank you. And also, this deal does not surprise me in the slightest. I said earlier, I didn't see a world where he was an Edmonton Oiler. And if you really break it down, him leaving that team made no sense. Like, they've been to the Cup final 2 straight years in a row. They've walked through the West pretty easily. And if you think Mitch Marner is going to deter that this year, you're dead wrong. So they're probably
watching enough Mitch Marner.
Yeah. So they're probably going to walk through the West again. And I don't trust the Dallas Stars, and the Colorado Avalanche just prove every year they're not deep enough. So they're at the advantage. And you want to make your team more competitive. You look at their cap situation. You want to win a cup, then you have to do it. You have to do it. Yep. And I'm not surprised that he did do it, because if he didn't, then he would kind of look like an idiot.
Yes.
Like, I mean, he's worth every penny. Like, don't get me wrong. He's worth endless amounts of money. But if you do want to win and that's the way you're going to walk, then you gotta walk the walk. And that's exactly what he did here.
It really shines a light on some of these other guys across the league who try and take every last dollar they can. Like I said, most notably Kaprizov signing for $17 million with the Minnesota Wild. Like, Marner gets criticized for it. Auston Matthews, like the context of it is different now with the cap going up. But here's the best, like the consensus best player in the world. No one argues who the best hockey player on planet Earth is. And for him to just agree to take essentially a hometown discount like this, it does. It shines. It really puts a negative spin on guys who want to make every last dollar, because now the perception is you don't care about winning. You just care about getting paid.
Every single team's walking in the negotiating room right now with that in their back pocket. It's just, it's a thing of beauty for owners, for GMs. It's all the ammo you need. And I contribute it to one thing and one thing only: the Florida Panthers. If the Florida Panthers didn't do what they've done the past 2 seasons, borderline 3 seasons, I don't think this is happening. But it's just, this team is so far ahead of every other team in terms of just having it all figured out, that I think they've just totally flipped this on its head. And that's the reason why this deal is being signed at the number it's being signed at.
And you can do the whole state tax argument and say, yeah, well, in Florida, there's no state tax, so these guys will take less because it's more in their pocket and whatever. But it doesn't, at the end of the day,
it doesn't work like that.
These guys are still taking a smaller percentage of the salary cap, regardless of the external factors with state income tax. So
yeah, take that up with the league.
Yes. If you want to win, you got to take less so you can spread the wealth around. Like, that's really great that Minnesota gave Kaprizov $17 million, but I don't know how the hell they're going to spread the wealth out through the rest of their team. That team is notorious for making the playoffs and losing in the first round. I don't see how giving him all that money changes that, but hey, Billy Guerin was under pressure there from ownership, and it is what it is.
Yeah.
Okay. I've been waiting. This is how I wanted to start the show today, with this rant, but I had to delay it so we could talk about the breaking McDavid news. Everybody in this city is intoxicated right now with Blue Jay fever. Ryan and I got our Jays shirts on, watched every second of both games over the weekend. Tell me again, fans, media, agents, other players, tell me again how difficult it is to play here. If you watched any of those two baseball games this weekend, you would realize how absurd that take is. It's just flat out not true. If I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. Toronto sports fans want guys who compete and who take pride in being an athlete in this city and representing the city. That's it. You don't even have to win. Like, you don't have to win. And you look at this Blue Jays team right now, Trey Savage just steals the hearts of everyone yesterday with a performance in game 2. He gets a curtain call. The fans are on his feet. He's emotional after the game. His parents are in the stands. People are showering his mom and dad with adulation, showering him with adulation. Alejandro Kirk will never have to buy dinner again in this city. Like, they don't have to win a World Series. Alejandro Kirk has cemented himself as a beloved Toronto sports figure. The $500 million man, everybody's on this guy's ass going into this series, shows up, looks like a goat in games 1 and 2. Everybody's off the guy's ass, and he is the king of Toronto sports right now. All the Leafs were at the game on Sunday in a box. They posted a bunch of pictures of it on their social. And I hope each and every one of them took that in and drank that in. And I hope it dispels this fucking ridiculous narrative that I can't stand about how hard it is to play here and how difficult the fans are. All you need to do is show up and play hard, and this city will love you. And the Blue Jays are prime example of that right now.
Yeah. I mean, it's also helped that they've just absolutely kicked ass for 2 games. If they got smoked those first 2 games, we're probably singing a bit of a different tune here.
Well, if they got smoked, sure. But
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
Losing.
Yeah,
it's playing hard.
I think I'm going to be a devil's advocate here for a second, but I'm not defending that it's hard to play here, because I think that whole narrative is bullshit. But I do think there is a difference between being a Toronto Maple Leaf and being a Toronto Blue Jay in terms of the sport and how important it is to the country. I think anything Raptors Jays related, with the insecurity of being the only Canadian market, just winning and being competitive is just kind of like gravy. Where the Leafs, just because the media it's under a microscope, and me and you are going to go talk about the most useless things for the next 82 games because that's just what we do here. So I do think it's a little bit different, but I think your point is well made in terms of it's not so much like the success, it's the style of play in a way. I think this city just gravitates towards a certain style of play, But at the end of the day, it all gets quelled with winning and with showing winning habits and doing winning things, like just performing, like just
winning, but not winning championships. Ryan, how many times have I listed off all the Leaf greats, and amongst them there is 0 Stanley Cups? Like it's about competing. It's about playing hard. Go and watch the latest episode of the Amazon series where we have to relive the playoff, the ass kicking at the hands of the Florida Panthers last year, and featuring a cameo from yours truly, pretty much right off the top of the episode. But what was the issue there? They didn't show up.
Yeah.
They got their ass kicked in game 5 and then didn't show up and got their ass kicked in game 7. And I truly believe if they'd lost game 7, 3-2 in overtime, Florida sneaks one by Joe Wall, and it just doesn't go their way. Fans are not throwing jerseys. Yes, you're heartbroken, you're disappointed. Another year, they didn't get past the second round, whatever. But what enrages people is not showing up. And this is why I'm so enamored with what Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is doing right now, because he is in the same boat as a Matthews, as a Nylander, as a Marner when he was here. A very high-paid star athlete who you look to in these big situations to deliver, and he's fucking delivering.
Yeah.
That's all we want. All we want.
I think perception is like a huge thing too. Like if the Jays lose, if they blow this series, or even if they go to because the playoffs formats are obviously different. So if the Jays lose this series or the next series, they like technically haven't gone that much further than the Leafs have gone, because there's not like 4 grueling rounds in playoff baseball. But it's just the perception of the team. It's a bunch of good dudes who work hard, who have each other's backs, who are selfless, who do all the little fundamentals right. No one's cheaping you for effort. Everyone's taking accountability. Everyone's pulling for each other. Where the Leafs
no one's defensive in the media.
Yeah,
they have a bad game. They don't come out. Like, they come out and they own it. And we weren't very good today. We're going to come back tomorrow and be better. It's not just, we have to protect ourselves.
Yeah.
We have to protect everybody.
Where the Leafs, like, they won their division last year. They had a great year. They won a round. They went into the next round. But it's just the perception of the team is different. It seems like there's a bunch of individuals and just everybody else. And just the way it just comes across. That's just the way, like, both teams can have the exact same amount of level of success. But just the way it comes across your screen, the radio waves, the newspaper, your phone, it's just totally different. It's just the whole perception of the thing is, here's a bunch of good dudes working their asses off, doing everything they can. Here's a bunch of dudes who win, but they seem like they're all kind of prima donnas, and they I don't know. Like, it's just different.
Yes, it is. But I was amused seeing the photos of the whole team there yesterday, and just everyone has been talking about the electric atmosphere within Rogers Center over those 2 games. It's like this, when you play hard and you have even moderate success, you're a fucking legend in this town.
Yeah.
You are. So miss me with this fucking nonsense about how hard it is to play here and we have to protect these guys at all costs. Trey Savage is a kid, and he's standing out in front of a full stadium yesterday going, I love you guys. I love the city. Meanwhile, another guy is talking about how he has to get private security because it's so dangerous. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, I think it's just if a bunch of guys are working, like the Jays, this Jays team, they're never going to beat themselves. Like, you're never going to leave a game being like, that team just crapped their pants, whatever. Like, they worked hard. The other team just beat them. They got all the fundamentals covered, whatever. With the Leafs, it's like, you're watching game 7. You're like, what the? You guys aren't even trying. Like, they quit. They quit.
Yes.
Like, they flat out quit.
NFL fans, what's your favorite touchdown? For me, it's the next one. Because with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, Every touchdown could bring you closer to cashing in.
From first touchdown scorer to anytime TD props or the thrill of live in-game betting, every snap is loaded with opportunity. Here's the best part. Bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets instantly.
Your team hitting pay dirt pays out to you. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code THPN. That's code THPN to turn $5 into $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, fees may apply in Illinois. 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. NFL Sunday ticket offer for new subscribers only and auto renews until canceled. Digital games and commercial use excluded. Restrictions apply. Additional NFL Sunday ticket terms at youtube.com/go/NFL Sunday ticket/terms. Limited time offer.
On the topic of the Leafs not trying, the Thursday night preseason game against the Detroit Red Wings, lots of people discussing Anthony Stolarz getting absolutely shelled and freaking out about effort and stuff. Here's what I will say, okay? It takes everything I have inside me to watch the fucking preseason. I can't imagine what it takes to play in these games. You're just trying to get out healthy. So I'm not going to freak out over effort in a preseason game. If this is something we see going into the regular season, that's a different story. But listen, man, if the Jays can get this done and put away the Yankees, this is what you want if you're the Leafs. A quiet start to the season with the focus of the city entirely on the team down the street.
Yeah.
This is ideal.
Well, this is why I hate the preseason. It's just, I hate watching it too closely because then you start like creating narratives in your head and then you just gotta like slap yourself in the face and be like, hey, it's preseason, man. Just like I'm watching that game, I'm starting to get like angry about something. But I'm not, in 2 weeks from now, it's just not going to matter at all. So that's the thing I hate about the preseason. The only good thing about it is you can watch Cowan and see if it's there or some good signs. That's the only good thing about it. But I mean, I don't know, like people talk to you about this team all the time. And I think everyone is just kind of, no one has any idea what to expect. I don't think anyone has any clue what to expect from this hockey team going into the season. And you're right. If the Jays can shine some light away from that, it's definitely good news for them.
100%. That's you gotta be loving this a little bit. If you're not that we expect the Leaf season to be drama to start, but it's nice to start the season and not have everybody like, oh fuck, here we go again. Like a little bit of distraction for a little bit is a good thing for everybody around the organization.
Yeah.
So Scotty Lawton's hurt. He's going to be out week to week. I practiced today. Everyone online's freaking out because Easton Cowan is the 13th forward. I'm guessing Scotty Lawton getting hurt changes things for Easton Cowan because I don't think you want Easton Cowan playing on the fourth line in more of a checking role. Because the fourth line today at practice was Lorentz, Waugh, and Yarncroc. So, and with this injury to Lawton, they've got Domi back down centering the third line between Joshua and Robertson, and now Michelli's up on the first line. So that completely changes the complexion of the fourth line, which is not a role you want Easton Cowan in. As we're doing this podcast, Leafs PR tweets out that they've claimed forward Sammy Blais off waivers and off waivers from Montreal, and goalie Caden Primo off waivers from Carolina, so adding more goalie depth. Ruby's asked today about James Reimer, and he said that still has to play out. The guy hasn't really he played half a period here, so we're going to have to wait and see what happens. They might end up releasing Reimer. He might end up signing a tryout contract with the Marlies. So lots of stuff I'm throwing at you there all at once. But how do we feel about changing things up with where Easton Cowan begins the season? Because I liked the idea of him being on the fourth line with Lawton and Lorentz, but like I said, with Lawton out, that changes the dynamic of that line and the way Berube will probably use them, which is not the best fit for an Easton Cowan.
Yeah, this is a tough one for me because I want to see the new blood be injected. I want a guy on the team who can make plays. I don't want to see some guy just going up and down his wing doing nothing, but he's perceived as a good defensive hockey player, so we have him on the fourth line, even though he does nothing other than what we think he does, which when I'm watching, I don't think he's even doing that. So that's why I was kind of excited for Easton Cowan to be on the team and maybe provide some offense down the lineup. But then someone could easily just sway me in 2 seconds that he needs to get first line minutes in the AHL and play against men and get PP1 and to feel the puck at a different level. And I can be swayed both. I'm so on the fence on this. Like, you could
the
hit me
fact
both
too
ways.
that they can send him up and down so easily, it just makes it. You know what? I was with you on the last episode about, if these are the guys he's going to play with, and this is kind of a different look fourth line that could sometimes substitute as your third line. All right, let's start him. Let's do it. But I think the Lawton injury changes everything. And now you're kind of looking at it going, send him down, let him play first line minutes with the Marlies and let him get the feel for the American Hockey League down there. And if he looks really good down there, you can bring him up at any time. It is not something where it's a big to-do to send him down and bring him up and vice versa.
Yeah, I guess it says a lot about what they think about Scotty Lawton, that he would be the only fourth liner who could center that line, who they would feel comfortable having Cowan on that line because they think that he can make some plays with him.
Yes.
And so that says something about Scotty Lawton. It's an unfortunate injury, and I kind of take back what I said last episode where they're so deep at center. Because Scotty Lawton goes down, all of a sudden Max Domi's playing center again. It's like, what the hell are we doing? Never mind. They don't have center depth.
Mm-hmm.
I hate Max Domi playing center. I hate it. I don't like it. It doesn't work.
They got to do what they got to do, man.
Oh, they got to do what they got to do. Anyone else. Like, that completely changes the complexion of their lineup. Like, I don't know.
They got to do what they got to do now, man. Like, it is what it is. Like I said, the Lawton injury doesn't sound like it's long term. He's week to week, so he should be back at some point. But yeah, it's a stopgap right now. It is what it is.
Gets kicked off the third line. Like, that's what you get one center injury, and all of a sudden Nick Waugh is just playing with a bunch of fourth liners. Like, I don't really understand that. Now that whole that whole line, that third line that was supposed to be an identity line, is just gone. It's gone. You don't have it anymore.
Here's the lines of practice today: Matthews, Nyes, Michelli, Tavares, McMahon, Nylander, Domi, Joshua, Robertson, Waugh, Lorentz, Yarncroke.
Joshua Robertson.
Yeah. I guess they thought that Domi and Robertson had some chemistry last year. They did.
Say goodbye to that third line that was going to assert itself as a dominant line against bigger teams. Bye. That's gone.
Yeah, well, you're right. I mean, look, one injury to Scotty Lawton, and it changes the way it's reshuffled the whole look of the bottom six.
Like McMahon, Waugh, and Joshua. That's a big line. That's a big line that you could put against any other third line and go, we're not going to be physically outmatched. And now Nick Robertson is on that line. Yeah, it's it's crazy how a fourth line center injury just completely just ruined the foundation of how they were going to set up the first game of the season.
Well, and I think too, it shows like some of these guys who were bubble guys who's sticking around. Robertson and Yarncroke are sticking around, and David Kampf is not. He's on waivers. He's out.
Kampf, eh? Holy crap!
Yeah, Craig Berube is not a David Kampf guy and has not been one since he got here, which is so funny because Sheldon loved David Kampf, and so did Kyle, but he is not a Craig Berube hockey player. Yeah. And then, like I said, with bringing in like. I'm looking at Sammy Blais. I hope I'm saying that right. I
think you are.
His hockey DB right now. He's a guy who I think will be a depth option with the Marlies. And then Caden Primo is a guy who's played a little bit in the league, and you're just adding to your goaltending depth. It's really interesting how this whole Reimer thing has played out really weird. They brought him in. He couldn't get into a game. He played half a game with a roster that was essentially all American Hockey League players. They're not committal about whether they want to keep him or not. If Wall's out long term, which we still know absolutely nothing about, Reimer to me seems like your best option to back up Stolarz. Like, it's really odd what's going on here with all these goalies.
Yeah. I think if Joseph Wall is not available, then they don't really have all those options. Just kind of sound the same to me. Like Caden Primo, James Reimer, I don't care. Probably at the same level in terms of what they can give you as a backup goaltender. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Joe Wall. No idea.
No, nobody knows what's going on with Joe Wall. It's been dark it's been dark forever. It's like he just left. We don't know when he's coming back. He's dealing with a personal thing. Give him his privacy. Who knows? It's
a one-man show.
It's
Anthony Stolarz net, and if he gets hurt, then
we're in big trouble.
We'll see what happens. Hopefully,
you
Martin
want to talk
Jones
about
can come back.
You want to talk about exposing lack of depth? Anthony Stolarz gets hurt. Big trouble.
Yeah. Well, I'll forgive that one.
All right, I'm going to put you on the spot here. This is essentially our season preview episode with them set to drop the puck on Wednesday. So, what are we expecting this season?
Dude, I'm just trying to make this a logical thought. They finished first in the division last year. They have the exact same team, just without Mitch Marner.
Yeah.
So where does that land you?
I think it depends. There's a lot of factors. Here's my thing. For all the changes they've made, and let's forget for a minute that Scotty Lawton's hurt. For all the changes they've made, and for how much I've said I like the rework bottom six and how it makes them bigger, it makes them formidable. At the end of the day, yes, it's no longer the core four. However, the remaining three members are going to be the ones who drive your offense primarily. And if Tavares doesn't have a good year like he had last year, if Willie doesn't keep going on the trajectory he's been going on, if Matthews gets hurt and doesn't have a bounce back season, this team's going to struggle to score goals like they are. So at the end of the day, yes, I think adding some of these other guys, especially we'll talk about it towards the end of the episode, what we're seeing in the preseason right now between the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Florida Panthers. These bigger dudes will make you more formidable in that type of hockey, but you still got to get to the playoffs. And if the big boys aren't driving the bus, the key three, as Myrtle dubbed them, they're going to struggle to score. Yeah. And another thing, with the subtraction of Mitch Marner, let's get a little more offense from the defense this year. I'd like to see Morgan Riley chipping in with a few goals here and there, actually hitting the net with his shot. Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Jake McCabe can score you a goal here and there as well. Like, they need contributions from the blue line as well when it comes to putting the puck in the back of the net.
Yeah, I don't really see that happening.
You look at that, I just read you those lines, okay? That third line or fourth line is currently constituted ain't scoring you a goal, right?
Yeah,
It's
Steven
not
Lorentz gives you 5 beauties a year.
It's true.
I've no idea what to expect from Nick Waugh. No idea.
Yep.
One thing I have noticed about Nick Waugh is the guy can't skate. He's a big guy. He's positionally sound, but holy crap, he can't skate. He is slow.
Yeah, as a team, they're really slow. You've been hearing them talk about that on the radio.
They were slow last year. Like, I didn't even think they were fast last year. Just because you lost Mitch Marner doesn't make you any slow. I guess it makes you a little slower, but I thought they were slow last year. I didn't think they were a very fast team last year either.
Yeah, so I don't know. Do you think Nick Robertson, a week ago, it was like Nick Robertson might not make the team. They might trade him. They might put him on waivers. Who knows what's going to happen? Do you think him making the team, and yes, I know the Lawton injury really shuffled things around, but do you think him making the team is them acknowledging, like, we need somebody else in this lineup who can score a goal?
100%. That's what I said. Yeah. That's why they don't want to get rid of him, because he has the ability to put the puck in the net. But the thing is, he's never going to score you 20 goals if he's not playing. So play the guy or get rid of him, like, or else it's just kind of, I don't know. Then we're going to have the same conversation about him forever if they don't either decide to play him all the time, or if they have to get rid of him. So I don't know. Like, Bobby McMahon needs to score 20 goals again. Nick Robertson needs to play more often. He needs to score 20 goals. You need a little bit from Waugh. You need a little bit from Joshua. You need Domi to give you a couple more goals. You need Nyes to have the same year, maybe a little bit better. You need Michelli to not be useless. Like, when I think about it, I just don't see it. It really just depends on what Montreal and Ottawa are going to bring. I feel like Tampa's a shoe-in to be a top 3. I think every
Who knows
team,
what's going to happen with the Florida Panthers.
Every team is coming for the Florida Panthers. I think the preseason, we'll get into it later, but I think the preseason, what you've seen with them, I think every competitive team in this league is building their roster to beat their roster. And I think we've learned our lesson now that we don't want to see this team in the playoffs. So let's take advantage of all the injuries that they have. Let's start throwing sucker punches at all their best players, and let's decimate them and get them. Let's not even let them make it there. Because if they do and they're somewhat healthy, you're not going to beat them. So I think they're in for a tough year. I really do. I think every team's gunning for them, and not just in the playoffs, in the regular season as well. I think they're having a very tough season.
We've been saying we'll talk about it later, but fuck it. Let's just talk about it now. The Tampa Bay Lightning are full-blown. We're going to take you out starting right now. We are dropping the puck on the preseason, and we are going to take you out.
Love it.
And that's it. We're going to make sure you don't make it to April.
Yeah, I love it. I gained some respect for the Tampa Bay Lightning the other night. I know they still got smoked in the game, but it doesn't matter with that team. I don't want to hear the Florida Panthers have done enough bad that they deserve every sucker punch they get, and I don't want to hear anybody.
Everyone going on about Sabourin dropping Ekblad. It's like,
oh, come on.
How many dirty, cheap shots have you seen Aaron Ekblad give over the last few years? What goes around comes around.
Yeah, that team is so due for a... Like, I know hockey sometimes can get stupid with this. Like, sometimes games can get out of hand, and it's just all about getting the guy back and taking cheap shots. But if there's a team that deserves a cheap shot, it's this one. And I'm so happy the Tampa Bay Lightning are setting the tone early, being like, I don't care if it's September, October, whatever the hell month it is. We are going to match this team physically, and we're going to play dirty.
100%.
And we're going to take them out. I love it.
100%.
I absolutely 100%. Love it.
I want to hit on one more thing here, just before the season starts. I want to talk about the captain. With Mitch gone, and with our discussion earlier about Vladdy, like this is his team now, and everyone's talking about how he's healthy. He scored a couple goals in the preseason. The release looks to be in a better place than it was at any point last year. This guy has to lead the charge, and that comes with effort. That it jogged my memory. Remember last year in the preseason where they lost a couple games and somebody asked Berube if it was time to panic, and like it wasn't just like it was like a part time. It wasn't anybody serious. Yeah. It was. But I'm watching it the other night, and people are pointing out the lack of effort, and people point that out because we've seen many, many times in this era, this group take nights off. And yes, it's a preseason game, move on, who cares? But in my personal opinion, Mitch is gone. Yes, Johnny is still a part of the core, but he's making way less money. If this team goes out periodically throughout the season and lays eggs, that's on him. And it's on Willie. Mm-hmm. Like, this is, you guys are the two. There is no like, oh, this is a shared core four thing now. It's like, this is Auston Matthews' hockey team with William Nylander right behind him. And he's got to lead the charge. And when you go out and you have performances like you had in Game 7 last year against the Florida Panthers, it's like, this is your team. What's going on in that room? Mm-hmm. What, like, are you like, you have to pick your team up by the bootstraps sometimes and lead them to where you want to go. And I just think, and I'm not sitting here saying he can't do it. I've really liked what I've seen. The episode I did by myself a couple weeks ago, the whole thing was about how much I've liked how he's handled himself in the media, and he just has a kind of an air about him this year where he seems a bit more comfortable in that captain role. But it's a massive season for Auston Matthews. Massive season.
Yeah, I mean, we have this conversation every year. So I think it's time that maybe we just have to adjust our expectations a little bit for him. Like, I just don't think he can live up to what people want him to live up to. I think he's going to go down as one of the greatest goal scorers to ever play the game in any era. And I think everything else, he he's gonna have moments where you're gonna want more from him, and he's just not gonna have it. So, I mean, hopefully he stays healthy. You look at his hockey DB, 60, 40, 69, 33. Like he's coming back for another year where he's gonna get 50 plus if he's healthy. He's one of the greatest goal scorers to ever play the game. He's gonna be the Leafs all-time leading scorer probably by the end of this season. I'm pretty sure he's within distance. He's within like 40 or 50 of Matt's. But I don't know. I don't know if I can really sit here and just wish that he could turn into the greatest all-around player of all time. Like, I just don't know if that's coming.
I'm not sitting here suggesting that he is going to take his game to a level. I'm saying, like, maybe his way of doing that is being the offensive catalyst for this team. Go out and have another 50-plus goal season.
If the guy scores 50-plus goals, like, I think that's all he can really do. Like,
yes.
And we'll have questions about other things like driving his line and helping other guys out and skating harder and looking slow, looking fast, whatever. But I think for him to just feel good at the end of this year, for everyone to feel good, he's got to get that. He's got to be over 50 again, and that's how he can contribute best to this team.
I should have clarified. I
know what you mean, but I know what you mean. I know what you mean, but like
it's not like I want him to go. He's not going to go out and be McDavid and single-handedly win a hockey game, but it's like when your team needs a big goal, fucking score one. Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, just be more
that's
clutch.
What I'm talking
about.
Yeah,
yeah, exactly. Yes. Just be more clutch.
Yes.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm only saying that because I'm guilty of wanting him to be Sidney Crosby or wanting him to be like some of those other guys who are just on that top tier level, whoever played the game. Like I want him to be that, but I just don't know if he's ever going to really get there. But if he goes out and he scores 50 goals and they're clutch, he's not just adding on in a 4-1 game, 5-1 game, scores some big goals, then yeah, that's a successful season. And then we'll see what happens if they get to the playoffs.
I'm predicting a second place finish in the Atlantic for the Leafs this year. Ooh. I'm predicting a second place finish. I think the Panthers will. I don't know what to expect from the Florida Panthers. Either third in the division or maybe even a wild card. I think the Lightning win the Atlantic, and I think the Leafs come in second in the division this year.
Yeah. I mean, you think about it logically, like I said earlier, I just don't see losing Mitch Marner is just all of a sudden they're just not going to make the playoffs because I've listened to a couple preview shows and a couple people talking about the Leafs going into the season. I think people are really down on them. Yeah. I think some people have them barely making it. I just find that really hard to believe. I think they have too many veterans. I think they're too deep. There's not many. Like, we're not looking at I don't know. They don't have as many question marks as some, like Detroit's not getting any better.
No.
Like, I don't see Ottawa. Ottawa's probably going to be the same as last year. I don't know. I see Montreal taking a massive, massive leap. And then Florida, I don't know. The Bruins, no idea what they're going to do. No clue.
And also if you look at the teams in the Metro, it's like
Metro sucks.
I know.
Metro
it's
stinks.
like who really is, like, I could see a scenario where the Lightning come in first in the division, the Leafs come in second, and then Ottawa comes in third, and then the Panthers, if they're able to, sneak in as a wild card team.
Yeah,
and that's all they need.
Yeah, you can't sit here at the start of the season and be like the Panthers are going to miss the playoffs. Like, there's just no way. There's no way.
No,
I could see them finishing third or second too. Like, I don't even know, but.
I could honestly, I think they take it with the philosophy of we just need to be a wild card team.
Yeah, 100%.
Let it play out.
I think any good team could really have that mentality. Like, you know, like I think for the Leafs too, if you really think that this roster you build is built more for the playoffs, then yeah, all you gotta do is get in. You know, you're gonna have to play tough teams. You're never gonna avoid that. So yeah, get in and see what you can do. See what damage you can do.
All right, buddy. Well, we're getting started for real this week. Season 8 is officially, we've been here since after Labor Day weekend, but Season 8 officially gets going this week.
Let me drop one thing on you. This is why the Blue Jays are so beloved. Ben Nicholson-Smith. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. says today is an optional workout day for the Blue Jays, but the entire team showed up.
So
there you go.
Yeah.
It's the perception. It's the perception of the team.
The optics, yes.
Yeah,
the optics.
The perception of the
Jays
team,
are
man.
Crushing the optic
game.
Yeah,
the PR game for the Blue Jays is at 100. They are killing it.
Yes, they are. They are. All right, as I was saying, getting ready to get going for real this week. We will be on our usual 2-episode-a-week schedule. We'll be back later on to discuss the first game against the Montreal Canadiens. So if you'd like to join us for that, hit the like and subscribe button below. If you're listening to the audio version, like, subscribe, review. I say it every week. Our audio numbers continue to grow, and it's because wonderful people like you like, subscribe, review. Another thing you should most definitely do at the end of every Talking Buds Leaf Show episode.
Spread the word. Tell your friends.
We really appreciate it. We will see you guys in a few days.